presence that we feel, this love, this joy, this peace, that's us. That's the divine, that's the God within us. That's what we feel. Dr. Martin Luther King said, you can talk with someone, stand right there and talk with them. But if you have disdain or anger in your heart, that's what they will feel, not your words. So our presence, our energy that we share, that's our true self. That's our authentic self that we share. I saw a lady a moment ago walk in the door smiling and happy and filled with joy to be here. That kind of energy just made me feel good, inside, outside, all around. And that's the energy that we share as we walk up and down the street, as we walk down the aisle at Safeway, as we talk to the neighbors. So surely the presence is everywhere we are and where we aren't. The presence is everywhere. But when we are in the room, when we are in the place, it's our energy that is the manifestation of the presence. Something we should all ponder, perhaps. And so it is.
Good morning. This is pretty much following what you just said, Patrick. And we didn't.
Well, that's great.
We didn't plan it, really. We're all aware of what's going on in our world. And this is somewhat we need harmony. We need harmony. And Patrick spoke of harmony as the place between humanity and divinity, and how we need to adjust our thoughts to harmony, especially when we're in an uncomfortable situation. How radiating the harmony within our lives out into the world is so important. At one point, I don't know if you remember this, Patrick, but you used the analogy of going with the flow of traffic and not trying to control it. Okay, I could relate to that, kinda, but, the famous but. How about when the drivers around you, and you can take this metaphorically too, how about when the drivers around you create dangerous situations, not only to destroy harmony on the road, but possibly the lives of others? I'm sure that every one of you has experienced danger on the road, created by an angry or immature or distracted driver. Okay, a few days ago, I was in Harmony as I walked the beautiful country roads up in the hills surrounding Rohnert Park. When I returned to my car and was driving down a very steep hill with several blind turns, a truck with two young men tailgated me and started yelling out the window because my car interfered with their speeding. Once we got on the flat, of course, that car flew past me at full throttle with the men still yelling. Okay, my harmony was challenged. In fact, I could easily and sincerely bless the people in the other cars around them. But to be honest, for a while I kind of wished that they'd end up in a ditch and we all could wave at them while we drove past. Now I know this thinking was not productive and definitely did not make me feel better. It took me a while to at least hope that they wouldn't have an accident. By blessing them didn't come without resistance. Remember, my Harmony had been tailgated at dangerous turns. So why do I share this particular incident? Well, one, I'm sure you all can identify with a similar experience, and two, it's an example of how our inner harmony, or lack of, affects not only us, but others. The guys in the truck were angry, and for a while I was caught up in that space. I could feel a shift in my energy field when I did not have that inner harmony. And I didn't like it, nor did I want to bring that heaviness to others. I made a choice to remind myself that fortunately, nothing serious happened and to move on. I like the lyrics of the popular song from Frozen, Let It Go. This, of course, does not mean that we do not recognize and deal with uncomfortable situations. It means that once we do not continue to carry the negative energy with us and relive the experience over and over and over. Harmony is needed. The world especially needs it now. So be cognizant of what you're offering.
Kelly, thank you very, very much. Yes, I think I ran into those guys with the pickup just outside Safeway the other day. Their horn works well. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. And it's good to see each and every one of you this morning. A lot of announcements. Your board met this morning, did some yeoman work this morning, so thank you all. Give the board of directors a round of applause for all they do. And here, they get up at dark and they suffer the cold and the early morning hours to come and take care of the business so we can sit here warm and fuzzy and enjoy and in harmony on Sunday mornings. Monday evening.
It's 7 o'clock here at the Sanctuary Healing Circle.
Healing Circle here. Thursday,
Next Thursday, not this Thursday.
so a week from Thursday.
What?
Women's Circle.
I'm sorry, spiritual book study, week from Thursday, 10 a.m. in the hall. Work day, October 28th. We're going to cut and hack and cut and hack. We're going to give the haircut to the rose bush thing here, and we're just going to, everybody's invited. If you got gardening kind of tools, you can bring them. We'll have tools and ladders and chainsaws and choppers, and so invite you all to come and just have a fun day together as we make it more ready for the winter. The 30th, the 29th, the day after the 28th, will be potluck, the last Sunday of the month. And November 3rd, we're going to have Ring Out Danger, Friday at 9:35. Joy will be here, and I'm sure others. The first Friday morning of every month, we ring our bell for 5 minutes, and then we can come in here and meditate or pray. We can stand out and stand by the sign and have people honk horns. It's all about the awareness of let's create a non-violent, no more gun violence. And it's gone on long enough. 400 years is probably long enough, people packing guns and shooting each other. So I think we've come farther than that, perhaps. So anyway, thank you. I have another announcement. Not today, because I'm not quite ready for it today. But we have in our, clean this up, Patrick, in a file drawer, we have a bunch of CDs of Vivian Clark and her services. And this one here is The Lesson Is Why, from April 18, 2004. And we are going to, her daughter had no interest in having them. And I think for the joy of being able to listen to Vivian Clark and spread her wisdom and love with us, we're going to put these in back by our library. And if you want one, take it home. We're going to put a little piece of cardboard, write your name down and which one you take, and when you bring it back, and just kind of keep track of the ones you use, and you can keep track, and we can also know kind of where they're at. And there's a bunch of them. There's probably 300 of them. And so I think it's a great legacy that woman left to us. And those of you who get the Inquiring Minds email every Friday morning at 9 o'clock, I have 12 years of her wisdom on my computer, and I will continue to share that and keep her love and wisdom and presence alive and real in this church family for as long as I breathe. And hopefully we can pass that on. She was an amazing human being and gave so much to this church and to this community. And we're so fortunate to be able to have some things that we could re-listen to her talks and her wisdom. So we'll try to have that all set up for everyone by next week. Are there any other announcements? Yes.
No more cabaret for the rest of the year.
Oh, yes. No more cabaret for the rest of the year. We were going to try to have another writer's night, and that's not working out so well. So we'll just kind of get through the holidays and all the stuff, and the weather change and the time change and the annual meeting and all the different things, and then perhaps in February we'll start up again. So.
Membership for the annual meeting.
Oh, several of you here have taken a very active role in us being part of this family. And we have vacancies on our board. And if anyone would like to serve on our board, if anyone would like to actually vote at our annual meeting, where we vote on a budget, we vote on new board members, we vote on any kind of business that might come up. To vote, you actually need to be a member. We don't proselytize here ever, I don't think, unless you have never mind. I was going to try to be funny. But seriously, if you would like to participate as a member at the annual meeting, if you'd like to serve on the board, let me know, and we'll let the board know, and we'd be happy to invite you into membership between now and January, so you can actually participate at the meeting, and if you'd like, participate on our board. So I think that's all I need to say about that. Anything else? Well then, let's...
What is the red ribbon for?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Barney. Those of you who were here last week, I talked about a very good friend of mine who I married, him and his wife here. 40 years ago, his mother was killed, and her body was left out at Sonoma State. And I talked about her last week. We had a very unusual service last week. And I met with him and his family Friday. Come to find out, they watched the talk last week. And actually last Sunday would have been his mother's 78th birthday. And this is for her. So, let's stand and sing this song, How Could Anyone Ever Tell You You Were Anything Less Than Wonderful and Beautiful. Let's sing that together.
You were anything
happen to be here for the first time, you are about to have a wonderful experience, because this is when we greet each other in a 116-year-old tradition of welcoming each other to Church of the Oaks. I just met her this morning.
Driving here, and I read
Why don't we just take a big, deep breath and just... The last 4 minutes, that's almost reason enough to show up here every Sunday. It's just to share our energy with each other, get to know each other, and connect with each other and in the divine in new and various ways every day. You know, we don't have a doctrine here at Church of the Oaks. We don't make you sign anything when you become a member. We ask one question, a commitment, that you share your time, your talent, your thought, and your treasure with humanity, with the community, and with Church of the Oaks. We don't pass a basket. If you choose to share, that helps us think about sharing. We have a basket in the back you can put money in. We have all different things you can share your time and your talent and your thought. The 28th is a perfect day to share your time and your talent. Maybe not so much thought, thought too, and chopping down stuff. But let's read together our affirmation of abundance, may we? To realize an abundant life, one must practice giving, receiving, and gratitude. Maybe ponder that wisdom, sir. As we prepare for our practice this morning, let's sing together Only Believe, number 152 in the wings.
Good morning. Today's practice will be a little different than usual, a little longer than usual. Rather than leading a guided meditation from up here, I'm actually going to play a song that was recorded by an artist who provides a lot of the sacred music at the healing retreats that I often attend, which I've told some of you about. Her name is Angelica, and she has a God-given gift for bringing the divine into a space through her voice. And when you listen to this track, I think you'll understand what I mean. This particular one is based on a Buddhist Sanskrit chant for peace. And some of you may be familiar with it. The words are, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be happy. And as I play this song, Patrick was speaking at the very beginning about Martin Luther King's quote, people will be affected by who you are much more than by what you say. And in these times, I find myself needing to be peace, knowing that that's what I need, and yet I don't know how to do that. I don't know, what to do to help myself be more of the peace that I want to see in the world. But I find that when I listen to this song, something happens in my energy, in my body, in my mind. It becomes more forward, that vibration of peace. So I'm going to play that, and I just feel really strongly guided to share something that I observed at the last Katati Kids Day, the pancake breakfast in July of this year. If you've been involved with that before, you know that usually we allow people to come in and visit the sanctuary if they're interested, but we ask some member to go in with them just for security and to act as a guide. And at one point during that event this year, I came into the sanctuary with a family. I think it was actually just a father and two little kids. And they were Buddhists, and they got the sacredness of this space so strongly. They came up to the front where this carpet is right here and bowed down and said some of their Buddhist chants. And clearly were just so open to and receiving the vibration that we've all built here together. So just bear that in mind as you listen to this song and try to say yes and let it in as best you can. And this, by the way, is similar to what we do on Monday nights. We play this kind of music and we receive that way. Take that vibration of peace with you when you leave here. Namaste.
Our universe needed that so much, Natalie. Thank you. I'm sure perhaps there have been, but I can't remember a time when our world has been so mentally, physically, and spiritually filled with malignancy. I think there's only one cure or one antidote or one medicine or one treatment for that malignancy in every facet of life as we know it. And I think that has to begin with forgiveness. We can't have the peace that we just felt. We can't have the harmony that Kelly spoke of if we haven't forgiven. Because the unforgiven within us is part of that malignancy. And we all have some, my dear friends. What's going on in our world? How can you sit there at your television, your radio, your computer, in your chair and contemplate your divine self and not let go of the blame for such evil in our world? It's always been there, probably will always be here. I can remember Vivian Clark saying, I refuse to allow whatever's going on to affect the peace of my soul. How many times did she say that, Kelly? Over and over and over and over. If we could carry that mantra home with us. And it's easy kind of maybe to forgive people that are led by terroristic or evil or fear or hatred or revenge. We can kind of sit back in our chair and forgive that because they've been. But I was listening to Eckhart Tolle, and he's one of the most brilliant human beings ever breathed air, I believe. I have a little problem listening to him. He makes me feel like he woke up this morning very nauseated and may regurgitate at any moment, and he gives that opportunity a chance at the end of every 2 words. Makes me very nauseous and nervous. But he is brilliant. And I heard him speaking a while back about the difference between discernment and judgment. And I'm just going to throw this out. You just kind of wrap your head around it however you want to. He said, judgment. That man right there is a liar. We have cast judgment on that man. And we hope that whoever hears us say that will agree with us and look at him as a liar in a negative fashion. But if we use discernment, perhaps we could say, that man has apparently been less than truthful at different times. That's a discernment. We're aware that he has not told the truth. I will use another bit of discernment. I would bet every dollar that I have in my pocket right now that every single person in this room has at one point or another not been truthful.
No.
That's better than saying, I think you're all liars. How often do we do that? I work on this and I catch myself virtually every day, sometimes several times a day. I can bring something a couple weeks ago, right here, standing here in front of you. I said some words similar to, and I've said them a lot of times, I've gotten very good. They could just roll off my tongue. These people we have in Washington, D.C., I prefer to call them the corporate concubines. And in doing so, subconsciously, I hope you all agree with me and look at them as concubines of the corporate empire. How is that going to help anything? That kind of negativity, that kind of judgment. These people are working in a system that we have allowed to be created, my dear friends, as part of this democratic country we live in, mostly because of apathy on our parts, laziness. How dare we pass judgment on anybody working in this country unless they have broken a law. And that's not our judgment call. That's the court. That's the system to declare that judgment. Let me ask you a question. Wayne, specifically, who is the most critical person in the world of you?
Most critical of me is me.
Okay. Mike, same question.
Me.
Is there anybody who has a different answer than that? We judge ourselves all of the time. We complain, we feel less than, stupid. This is the dumbest thing anybody ever did, and I did that. I'd like you all to look at your order of service. Go down through the quotes at the bottom of the page, and the last quote I came across from a very, very wise, elderly philosopher.
Oh, yes.
Forgiveness is the release of judgment almost entirely of ourselves. It's pretty easy to forgive somebody going down the street, the guys in the pickup honking their horn and screaming at it. How do I forgive myself? We're asking several times for all of you to think of our politicians as corporate concubines. How can I forgive me of that? How can I let that negative energy that I'm sharing with the room become in harmony with the divine and the peace of my soul and the peace of the divine? We use the word forgiveness a lot. But I think if we really study what does that mean, it's the release and lack of judgment. I look for discernment. I work at discernment all the time. I want to know what's going on in this world. I want to know what's going on in my family here. I want to know as much as I can what's true and what's real. But how dare I make judgment on what any of us do or say or feel. We have lived lives that are just as unique and as different as every person walking the face of the earth. And is it any wonder there is so much hurt and hate and retaliation and fear? And making judgments about those things doesn't change anything. It keeps that negative, hateful, fearful, horrible activity and energy alive and going. The only thing that will change the hideous in our world is consciousness. We can't change who's selling guns. We can't change who's blowing up stuff. But we can change the consciousness on this planet. And we can start by stop judging ourselves, accept ourselves, work at improving our lifestyles, our choices, our thoughts, and elevating our consciousness. And really caring for each other. And not talking goody two-shoes, nicey nice stuff, and then stab them in the back when they turn around and walk away. Oh, and I do that too. I'm sure we all do. For peace and harmony within our soul. To achieve peace and harmony in our relationships with each other. To create more peace and harmony in our communities. My dear family, we must not judge. We must not. We have to learn how to discern without judgment. I've got a quote somewhere on one of my shelves in my office. It says, peace will only come to us when we accept the world as it is and not as we wish it was. Discernment. This world can be an ugly, nasty, painful place. And you look 1 degree to the left or the right, and you will see beauty. You will see love and caring, commitment, compassion, empathy. And you look 3 more degrees, and you see more of the other stuff. And the consciousness of you and me in this room, our commitment to working with everything we have, actually, to enrich our lives and the lives of the people around us, our commitment to do that is the only thing that's going to elevate the consciousness of us, the people in this room, of us, the people in this community, of us, the citizens of this world. We want this freedom of being able to laugh and to love and to enjoy and experience beauty and friendship. We can't really feel those things if we are filled with dissent, anger, hatred, revenge, judgment. Oh, we got a job of work, folks. But isn't that what life is? Life is learning something new about ourselves, our divine, our seen parts and our unseen parts. As we mature, as we learn, as we grow. And I look at the people in this room, and a couple of you I don't know very well. But there's not a person in this room that I have not seen love and care and nurture and support other people in this community. That's the ticket. That's what's going to make this better. And we'll have more ability to love and nurture and support and care and show empathy if we could forgive some of these judgments and beliefs that we have deep down in us. And every one of us has them. And every one of us has the ability to just pick away at them, one at a time, and let them go. Put a Band-Aid on it, put it back in the closet, it'll be all right. That's the only course of action that will improve and enrich life in this world that we reside. We're going to sing a song in a moment. This is my song. It's about, I think it's called Finlandia. We're going to sing the first couple of verses. But as we sing that, let's think about maybe the judgments that we have made about different governments and groups and societies and cultures throughout this planet we live on. Oh, there's 8 billion of us, my dear friends, and almost without exception, 8 billion of us want to be able to make sure our babies are fed, make sure that the people we love we can hold next to us and protect. Make sure that we can be proud of the citizens of our country, whatever country that might be. Be proud and respect the people that try to govern and make some kind of semblance of order. We don't have to judge everything. It's not our job. Our job is to discern and see if there's any way that we can do something in our little life right here in Catalia that might change the consciousness of this planet, of this universe. So Maestro, if you'd step up to the piano. And I think I'm going to ask us all to just sit here. And Wayne, will you play this through once? And just think about the words in that first verse. Don't sing them the first time through. Just ponder them. They are so powerful. And they can be such a light for each one of us to release the judgments. Search for discernment to find truth. And then look inside, within, for the light that will elevate and brighten the consciousness of this great land. Wayne?
Give me a